also want to, I also would like to go across to our legal editor, Rhythm, to shed more details on this because she's been tracking this case from the beginning.
Okay, so I want to tell our viewers what's been happening in this case, and now I'm going to give you the full update about what's happened. The Supreme Court was also told by the Solicitor General of India and Tushar Mehta this is a case of aggravated rape. This is something they've also written before. When they have made this point before the Supreme Court heard Tarun Tejpal, the Supreme Court heard Kapil Sibal. This was Tarun Tejpal's appeal against the Bombay High Court judgment. The Bombay High Court on 6th of August had reversed his acquittal. They'd sentenced him to 10 years. Against that, the Goa government came to the Supreme Court and said 10 years is not enough. No means no. Kapil Sibal, appearing for Tarun Tejpal, said there is no condition in circumstances the judges should grant exemption. There is no point of sending him for 5 days and then his appeal being heard. The Solicitor General of India, Tushar Mehta, said the High Court had suspended the order. The petitioner was in no more than one capacity, and therefore they said that he does not deserve exception from surrender. I am seeing the Goa government take a very strong stand before the Supreme Court and saying no means no. In this case, aggravated sentence needs to be given. Let me go across to Swapnil, who's also joining us in the phone line. Swapnil, this is so clear that in this case now, the Solicitor General of India saying no means no, and therefore they have to go ahead and they have to ensure that Tarun Tejpal is in prison in this case, Swapnil.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I knew this beforehand because otherwise, if you're going to dilly-dally as far as the prison imprisonment is concerned, then the High Court order loses its teeth. And, whatever the woman has faced with him actually behind closed doors, she's facing it in open public, in open court before the whole world. That, it's more humiliation than anything that, the person who raped her is moving around scot-free only on the basis of some legal technicalities. So I believe the Supreme Court has come down heavily on this part and said no means no and has rejected Tarun Tejpal's plea, and rightfully so. Now let's see exactly as and when the appeal is heard, after he's taken behind bars. Then let's see what happens. And I believe that from the recent judgment of the Supreme Court, I don't remember, it had clearly mentioned, Rhythm, it was about 5-6 months ago, that it's not going to interfere with High Court judgments as far as convictions are concerned, unless and until there is something really compelling to say that the High Court overlooked a fact which was crucial and material, or you yourself come out with a fact later on post the judgment which you think was not there earlier before on the pleadings itself. So, I mean, absent these two things, this conviction is going to stand in 10 years is 10 years, and that's fine. And I think the victim should be very happy about it.
Yes, and I also want to hear Swapnil go across to the pages that had been filed by the Goa government before the Supreme Court, where they had said Tejpal was an employer, mentor, father figure to the survivor. No means no, yes, but Goa government also said there was repeated assault on the 7th of November and then the 8th of November. There was an abuse of authority, and therefore maximum sentence has to be given to Tarun Tejpal, which means, Swapnil, they are clearly clarifying here 13 years having passed to the case cannot be premium for the offense. No means no. They challenge the 10-year term. They want most harsh punishment for Tarun Tejpal here.
Rhythm, I don't think that's going to work because the very fact that he's been out. I'm not playing the devil's advocate, but I'm just giving you objectively the fact that he's been out for 10 years and he's been convicted now is the problem with the legal system, not the problem with Tarun Tejpal. Had this matter been heard on a fast-track court and he would have been sentenced and for rape and imprisoned, the matter would have been over.
Yes. But instead of going on this law point, Swapnil, the larger question I'm asking and what the court said, he was in the particular position of dominance. He was her employer. He tried to do this. The most incriminating evidence that came out was the apology that he had issued in an email to the victim, and then they did a flip. They did a U-turn. I remember in the lower court how she was insulted and humiliated. I remember what the Bombay High Court has now said. There were 1,000 pages of details in cross-examination, Swapnil, that she went through at the Mapusa court. When we were tracking the story there, I remember how she used to come out, how she was questioned on the number of relationships she had. This was the worst ordeal that the victim faced.
Rhythm, I understand, and the fact is that if you're going to challenge this order and say that 10 years is not sufficient and try to go for 13 years or whatever it is that they have in mind, let me tell you something. As I said, the Supreme Court is not going to interfere with the High Court order.
Sure.
Now,
So, Swapnil, I'm just interrupting you for 1 minute as I'm told that Brinda Arige is also patched on with us. Brinda Arige, women activist, you've been seeing this case very, very clearly. Today, the court is now saying Tarun Tejpal will have to surrender. It's a big blow to him. Only he has to surrender in 2 weeks. Only once he surrenders will his appeal be heard. Brinda, I also want to tell you the Goa government moved the Supreme Court and said they want maximum punishment for him. 10 years is not enough. No means no.
I completely agree with the Goa courts. And my first question would be, why does he require 2 weeks? After all, he's not somewhere abroad, that he's not getting tickets, airplane tickets and things like that. Why not in the next 4 days? What is stopping him? After all, it is only going to serve his sentence in court. This is not the kind of treatment that courts give to ordinary citizens if they might have been convicted in such a serious offense. This guy is being treated with kid gloves, which is unacceptable. He has been asked to serve term convict in jail. He must go to jail. Simple. 2 weeks' time. What is it? Does he require that much of time to put his affairs into order? What is it? He's got kingdoms and kingdoms that he has to now prepare will and get all his nominees in place. This guy is a culprit. He has committed a crime. He refused to accept a no from a new trainee who came into his office to work. And he sexually abused and assaulted her. I think this 2 weeks' time is too much, treating this man with too much lenience. Let him go to jail. That is what the court has told, and I think he should just go to jail. And we should not give him any more importance.
I concur that this kind of VIP treatment should not be given to him, Brinda. Thank you for being with us. Viewers, this is a top focus story. We'll track it after a short break. But the big news coming in, the Supreme Court asks Tarun Tejpal to surrender within the next 2 weeks. As the Solicitor General said, no means no. This is something Tarun Tejpal should pay heed to. Back after a short break. Stay with us.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा प्योर मसाला।
यानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील टीएमटी बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम। AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
Viewers, coming up after a short break, Tarun Tejpal asked to surrender by Supreme Court within next 2 weeks as his appeal is now been rejected. We'll get you all the details on that. Stay tuned.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
Scott Bessent said the United States is entering the final phase of its campaign against Iran, launching what he described as an economic D-Day aimed at completely severing Tehran's financial lifelines. Writing in an opinion piece for a UK newspaper, the U.S. Treasury Secretary drew a direct line to the 1943 Tehran Conference, where Allied leaders weighed how to exert maximum pressure on Axis power.
Welcome back, viewers. Now, a major H-1B visa shock for skilled foreign workers and especially for Indian professionals. The Trump administration has now proposed an additional $103,000 fee hike on H-1B visa applications subject to the annual cap. The move comes after a previous $100,000 fee hike was struck down by U.S. court. Vice President J.D. Vance has now made the administration's position very clear. American companies that need workers should hire and train American first. India stands to be among the most affected, with Indian nationals now accounting for over 71% of H-1B visa holders. Here's a quick report to take a look.
A fresh H-1B shock from the Trump administration. $103,265. That's the additional fees the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has proposed for the H-1B cap subject petitions. This isn't just for the applicants coming from abroad. The proposed fee would apply to all H-1B petitions subject to the annual cap, including applications eligible under the U.S. Master's Degree exemption. The H-1B program allows American employers to hire foreign workers in specialized occupations, particularly across technology, engineering, research, and other highly skilled sectors. Under the congressional cap, the United States currently allows 65,000 H-1B visas every year under the regular quota, with another 20,000 slots reserved for foreign workers holding a master's degree or higher education from the U.S. institutions. That means the proposed fee would potentially apply across the 85,000 visa cap subject pool. And the financial impact could be enormous. Department of Homeland Security estimates the proposed fee could generate approximately $8.8 billion annually. This is based on the 85,000 cap subject petitions. But there is an important distinction. This is a proposed additional fee, not a final rule, which brings the spotlight firmly onto India. Because when it comes to H-1B visa program, India is by far the largest beneficiary. USCIS data shows that in fiscal year 2024, Indian nationals accounted for 283,755 approved H-1B petitions, which is around 71% of all approved H-1B petitions. China was a distant second, with about 11.7%. The Trump administration says the objective is not to shut the doors on foreign talent. It says the objective is to make American employers think twice before replacing or bypassing American workers. And hence, Vice President J.D. Vance has now delivered that message in an unmistakable term. But for American technology companies and other employers, it depends on global talent and means a dramatic increase in the cost of recruitment. For India, the stakes are particularly high. Indian professionals dominate the H-1B program. Now, this proposed $103,265 fees has put the future of the H-1B program firmly back on the center of the US-India talent debate.
All right, viewers, coming up on the other side, Supreme Court rejects rapist Tarun Tejpal's plea seeking exemption from surrender, directs Tejpal to surrender within 2 weeks. All the updates land up on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
रंग 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 रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे बोझ पेंट्स रंग बना रहे रंग रंग रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो तुम रंग 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 बना रहे रंग रंग रंगीन रे देखो कैसे भी हो तुम रंग 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 बना रहे रंग रंग रंगीन रे रंग 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 बना रहे बोझे पेंट्स रंग बना रहे
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला
AU करंट अकाउंट के साथ मिलता है फ्री UPI QR ओवरड्राफ्ट फैसिलिटी और एक ही ऐप से बैंक के सारे काम AU
सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट अब बताओ स्वाद आया
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Supreme Court rejects a rapist Tarun Tejpal's plea seeking exemption from surrender. Top Court now directs Tejpal to surrender within 2 weeks. Tejpal has now been sentenced for 10 years in a sexual assault case of 2013. We'll get you all the details on that on the other side. Stay tuned.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट
क्या बात है स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान अरे चंकी चाट है इसकी जान
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो
सब बढ़िया लो
इसमें क्या खास बात है
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात
राजा आर प्योर मसाला
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
रानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला डिलीशियस हेल्दी एवरीडे
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Hello and welcome viewers. You're watching live and breaking on Republic TV with me, Ishita Mitra. Now join us as we celebrate a voice that has given Indian music some of its most unforgettable moments. From soulful melodies to high-energy anthems, Shankar Mahadevan has consistently pushed the boundaries of Indian music while staying rooted in its soul. a singer, composer and performer whose voice can move from classical brilliance to contemporary magic. Shankar Mahadevan has created music that generations continue to connect with. And now we celebrate the legend, the voice and the incredible journey of Shankar Mahadevan. Catch this special tribute only on Republic TV. With that, let's cut across to the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can. Supreme Court rejects rapist Tarun Tejpal's plea seeking exemption from surrender, directs Tejpal to surrender within 2 weeks. West Bengal CM Suvendu Adhikari orders crackdown on anti-national elements, orders a probe after anti-national slogans and graffiti emerge at Jadavpur University. Big win for Republic. Bengal CM West Bengal Suvendu Adhikari orders all 4 fake cases against Republic Bangla to be withdrawn. Video emerges of Karnataka BJP MLA's daughter slapping police official. BJP MLA Suresh Gora now says sorry. Rape convict Sirsa Dera Chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim now released for the 17th time on 21 days of furlough. ED flags funds without FCRA registration over 2.88 crore rupees under scanner. NSAG Doval on 2-day visit to China meets Chinese Vice President. Talks scheduled with Chinese counterpart on border peace. All right, welcome viewers. Our top focus at this hour now. Speculation is swirling after Union Minister Nitin Gadkari's remarks at a recent debate where he said he cannot work much these days and even suggested that the new generation should be given a chance. Now, the comments are made by the veteran BJP leader and road and transport minister have triggered political chatter about possible fatigue and also generational transition within the party, or a subtle hint at stepping back from active responsibilities. In fact, let's take a listen to exactly what the union minister said.
आजकाल मी काही जास्त काम करू शकत नाही. ज्यावेळी करू शकलो तेव्हा आता मी पण कामातून माझं पार्टिसिपेट कमी झालं. मी सगळ्यांना सांगितलं तर नवीन पिढीच्या हातात काम दिलं पाहिजे. नवीन लोक आलेत, जुने त्यांना मार्गदर्शन करतात आहेत आणि हळूहळू पुन्हा काम वाढतं आहे. आजकाल मी काही जास्त काम करू शकत नाही. ज्यावेळी करू शकलो तेव्हा आता मी पण कामातून माझं पार्टिसिपेट कमी झालं. मी सगळ्यांना सांगितलं तर नवीन पिढीच्या हातात काम दिलं पाहिजे. नवीन लोक आलेत, जुने त्यांना मार्गदर्शन करतात आहेत आणि हळूहळू पुन्हा काम वाढतं आहे. आजकाल मी काही जास्त काम करू शकत नाही. ज्यावेळी करू शकलो तेव्हा आता मी पण कामातून माझं पार्टिसिपेट.
All right, so that's the statement coming in from Union Minister Gadkari, in fact, which subtly hints at maybe he's stepping back from active responsibilities at the moment. But that's the statement that he made, and quoting him, he said that he cannot work much these days. So that's the statement coming in from Nitin Gadkari. All right, in fact, my colleague Revati also joining us with more details on this. Revati, you know, a statement coming in from Nitin Gadkari, he says, I cannot work much these days. So subtly also hinting that maybe he's stepping back from active responsibilities, as, you know, BJP is also going, you know, undergoing a churn at the moment.
Right, as you rightly mentioned that BJP is going under a churn, and also there are speculations that BJP is revamping the entire parliamentary board and the people, and they are also in a thought of changing the people's position, and now that considering
all right. In fact, Revati, hold on to your thought. We're getting some more breaking news at this hour as well. We'll shift our focus to that. Now, Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh has approved the transfer of technology for all DRDO-developed conventional missile systems to the Indian defense industry. This enables domestic companies, including MSMEs, to now manufacture these systems in India, supporting the goal of Atmanirbharta in defense. The move, in fact, is intended to shift missile systems from development to large-scale industrial production, boost the domestic defense manufacturing base and supply chain while reducing import dependence and increasing domestic value addition and operational capability. Now, DRDO will work with industry to now facilitate the technology absorption subject to applicable qualifications, certifications and regulations as well. So a big boost to self-reliance in defense manufacturing, as a crucial step has now been taken up by DRDO, as the Defence Minister has now announced and approved the transfer of technology for all DRDO developed conventional missile systems to the Indian defence industry. So a big step where industry players can now also be roped into this journey of making India an exporter in defence equipment and also, of course, a self-reliant nation when it comes to defence manufacturing. Now, the move here will enable domestic companies, including smaller firms such as MSMEs as well, to manufacture these systems in India and to support the goal of Atmanirbharta. The move, in fact, will shift the missile systems from development to large-scale industrial production. It will boost the entire domestic manufacturing base and supply chain while reducing our import dependence on other countries. Moreover, it will also increase our domestic value addition and operational capability in this case. So a crucial move as far as India's goal of being self-reliant in defense manufacturing is concerned and also becoming an exporter of more defense equipment. DRDO, as in this case, will in fact be working to facilitate the technology absorption. It will be subject to, of course, applicable qualifications, certifications and several regulations as well. But nevertheless, a big step in the direction of becoming Atmanirbhar in a defense sector. In fact, my colleague Ishan also joining us with more details on this. Ishan, a big step now taken to rope in the private players and the industry at large for our goal to become self-reliant in defense manufacturing.
Absolutely. This is a very significant step towards Atmanirbharta in defense. Domestic companies, MSMEs and other technology partners can undertake production subject to applicable qualifications. Now, the goal is to shift systems from DRDO development to large-scale industrial production. The strength of the domestic defense industry base will definitely increase because Indian defense industry has been growing at a expounding rate. Now, this again will provide supply chain, reduce import dependence, and increase domestic value addition. DRDO will work closely with the industry to facilitate the technology transfer and, more importantly, the absorption and production. This aligns with recent policy efforts such as COT that was waived by reducing the fees for development of production partners and most importantly, development partners and production agencies, enabling large technology transfers. Over 2,200 technologies have already been transferred or are under the process of being transferred from DRDO and other research institutions for domestic manufacturing. The focus on this time is on conventional missile systems. Now, India has developed a lot of missile systems that have been tested and have been proven to be effective, but yet the production lags behind. So this step will ensure that the domestic missile systems are being produced within India with technology that has been developed within India. So this will provide the entire ecosystem being shifted from a Western-based system wherein we import technologies. Now we are developing our own technologies, and now the next goal is to use the developed technologies to enhance production in the industry. Back to you, Ishita.
Step in terms of, a big boost to indigenous production as well. In fact, Major General G.D. Bakshi also joining us on this. Major General, I want to ask, how do you look at this step? It will certainly ensure that this missile system development can now happen at an industrial scale, and private players, industry at large, can also be roped in to achieve the goal of Atmanirbharta in defense manufacturing.
Most certainly, because the technology has been developed indigenously by the DRDO. It is now being transferred to the Indian industry
so that these can be mass produced. These can be produced in quantity, in quantum. And, that strengthens Indian conventional deterrence capabilities. So I think this is a very welcome step because it helps to productionize what we have, our indigenous capabilities in missile technology. As you have seen from the Israel war, with the Americans and with Israel-Iran war, you've seen that missiles, cruise missiles and drones are playing a major transformatory role in warfare. Therefore, we will have to mass produce these missiles, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, drones, so that we are ready for the new phase of war, which has been ushered in now by the Iran conflict. Very clearly ushered in by the Iran conflict, in which they have been able to withstand American air power. And they have, almost inflicted a defeat on the United States. So quite obviously, we have to catch up in the missile rocketry field. Fortunately, Dr. Abdul Kalam had started the Indian guided missile program decades back. And it is now, coming to fruition. And this is a technology that is leapfrogging. You see, we may not have caught up with the jet engine technology, but we can leapfrog that technology because jet engines will soon be replaced by these unmanned systems. And we must have great expertise in designing and producing these, unmanned systems at home. Our ballistic missiles, our cruise missiles, our drones. That is what this is facilitating. So I think this is a very welcome step.
Right. Major General, certainly it's a big step and a big boost to missile production in India, especially as you highlighted in the light of the way warfare has been changing around the world. Thanks so much, Major General G.D. Bakshi, for joining us and sharing us understand the importance of this big step taken up by Defence Minister. Thanks so much. And now, viewers, in a big win for Republic Network, Chief Minister of West Bengal, Suvendu Adhikari, has now announced that all the cases registered against Republic Bangla, the false cases, will now be withdrawn, terming the media network as the worst sufferer of political vendetta in West Bengal under Mamata Banerjee. Adhikari also stated that the news channel had been subjected to targeted legal action under the previous administration, with 31 distinct cases being lodged against its journalists and management over the recent years. Take a listen to exactly what the Chief Minister said.
আপনি নিজেই বলেছেন 31 কেসেস লজ এগেইনস্ট রিপাবলিক মিডিয়া সবাই দেখেছেন সন্ময় বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়কে তার পানিহাটির বাড়ি থেকে মারতে মারতে তুলে নিয়ে গিয়ে পুরুলিয়ার কেসে ট্যাগ করা হয়েছে এমন প্রচুর উদাহরণ আছে রিপাবলিক বাংলা তার মধ্যে সবচেয়ে বেশি সাফারার আই নো আর অ্যাজ এ চিফ মিনিস্টার অ্যাজ এ হোম মিনিস্টার আমি ডিক্লেয়ার করছি ক্যাবিনেটে আমি রিপাবলিকের সব কেসকে উইথড্র করব ইটস মাই কমিটমেন্ট All cases are false, fabricated, lodged by the Mamata Banerjee's government due to their vendetta. এ জিনিস চলতে পারে না মুক্ত কর ভয় আপন মাঝে শক্তি ধরো নিজেরে কর জয় তাই নরেন্দ্র মোদীজি বলেছিলেন ভয় আউট ভরসা ইন
And now, viewers, 17 releases 17 times out of jail. Rape convict and data such as Sauda chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim is now out on furlough yet again. The convicted rapist is serving a 20-year sentence for raping 2 women disciples, has now been granted another 21-day temporary release. And this is Ram Rahim's 17th temporary release since he was jailed. And what makes this release significant is that, unlike several other outings at Barnawa in Uttar Pradesh, the data chief is once again being allowed to stay at Sirsa headquarters. Here's a full report on how entirely this incident has unfolded and how it becomes a mockery of justice. Take a look.
Rape convict Gurmeet Ram Rahim is once again walking out of the prison, this time on a 21-day furlough. Over the years, he has repeatedly been granted parole or furlough, triggering questions over how many times a convicted prisoner can be allowed temporary freedom. In his previous outings, Ram Rahim was sent to Dera Barnawa Ashram in Bagpat, Uttar Pradesh. Ram Rahim was convicted by a special CBI court in 2017 for raping 2 women disciples at the Dera Sacha Sauda headquarters in Sirsa. However, in the latest video, he has increasingly been allowed to stay at the Sirsa headquarters, making this his 3rd consecutive visit over there. These releases have often drawn political and public scrutiny, particularly because of his large following in Haryana and Punjab and their proximity to elections. The latest furlough has once again put the spotlight on the parole for high-profile prisoners. Ram Rahim is also serving a life sentence in murder case of former Dera manager Ranjit Singh. He was additionally convicted in the murder of journalist Ram Chandra Chhatrapati.
All right, viewers, that's all we could wrap in this edition of Live and Breaking on Republic TV. Thanks so much for watching and don't go anywhere. Coming up on the other side, video now emerges of Karnataka BJP MLA's daughter slapping police official. BJP MLA P. Suresh Kora now says, "I am sorry."
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Scott Bessent said the United States is entering the final phase of its campaign against Iran, launching what he described as an economic D-Day aimed at completely severing Tehran's financial lifeline.
All right, welcome back, viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic TV with me, Shada Mitra, and time for some business updates coming to light. Over to my colleague Rishita for the latest.
Thank you so much, Ishita. Now, we have a big update coming in from the world of business. Karnataka's food safety regulator has come down hard on 3 e-commerce platforms, and these are some major platforms. The Karnataka Food Safety and Drug Administration has suspended food licenses and registrations of Amazon, Swiggy, Instamart, Big Basket with immediate effect. Now, what has been the trigger? These platforms were found selling Datura, which is a toxic plant. Now, they were being sold as a food brand that was licensed under FSSAI licenses and registrations. Datura fruits and seeds are known to cause serious health effects if consumed. Officials say selling them for human consumption on any platform is a direct threat to public safety. Now, the department's order is very clear. All listings, advertisements and promotions of datura fruits or seeds for food use must be taken down immediately. Additionally, food safety officers have been instructed to move swiftly and suspend the licenses of these establishments without any delay. Republic Business also approached Swiggy Instamart, but they have refused to comment on the issue. We'll be tracking the story very closely and shall bring in every update as and when it comes. Now, viewers, we have another update that is coming in from the world of business. This is about the SpiceJet story that we had been tracking very closely. There has been a massive showdown that has taken place between SpiceJet and the lessors at the NCLT court yesterday. Now, my colleague Nitin Waghela, who is joining live from the newsroom, was present at the very court proceeding. Nitin, help us understand what took place and how are the events taking shape. Over to you.
Basically, it was a massive showdown between the aircraft lessors that are owed money from the SpiceJet, mainly Ajay Singh, the chairman and MD of the company. Now, it's been over 2 years since a lot of money is due from the SpiceJet management to these aircraft lessors over the past 2 years. Now, the massive showdown that happened yesterday in front of the NCLT bench, which is a new bench with a new judge. It's a two-judge bench, and there's one new judge as part of the entire hearing. And what they stated was they saw the intent of SpiceJet to delay the court hearing. The bankruptcy cases are now scheduled for a final hearing, most likely to be held on September 16th. Now, the two-judge bench has basically noted the fact that SpiceJet is unable to sort of settle the 11 lessors, that it owes a lot of money amounting to crores and crores of amount of money that they've been unable to pay since the last 2-3 years. Now, SpiceJet employees have told us on record that they're trying to raise funds and they intend to settle. But what was clearly visible, viewers, in front of the NCLT hearing that only Republic was exclusively tracking from the NCLT courtroom, was that it's a complete mishap from the SpiceJet's advocate counsels. They were literally sweating, as an inquiry was also suggested by one of the senior council members representing one of the aircraft lessors from the NCLT. So what they suggested was, given that the 2 years of wasted court time when it comes to the bankruptcy hearings against SpiceJet, they wanted an inquiry in that matter. Back to you.
Karan is here. Should I give it to Karan? Thank you so much for bringing us the update. We have another breaking coming in from the world of business. 2 words from the Kremlin yesterday, and Dalal Street has already reacted this morning. Fertilizer supply, Vladimir Putin met S. Jaishankar in Moscow on Monday and said that Russia is increasing fertilizer supplies to India and is ready to increase them further. Look at what the single assurance did. Fertilizer stocks spiked as much as 14% in intraday trade today. Fertilizers and chemicals, Travancore led up over 14% to 894 rupees. Madras fertilizers followed up almost 11%. Now, why the excitement? India imports close to a third of its fertilizer needs, and this sector has been squeezed all year. Ammonia and LNG turned expensive after West Asia disruptions. Global urea prices also jumped to around $597 a ton in March from $484 a week earlier. A steady Russian pipeline eases that risk for Chambal, RCP, CNGCP and Coromandel. That is what the traders are buying. Now, there is a taxpayer angle to this as well. The fertilizer subsidy bill was budgeted at 1.7 trillion rupees this year, and officials has warned it could go far higher. Cheaper imports means a lighter bill. And for the farmer, timing is everything. Rabbi Soping bargains as weak DAP demand peaks. A short supply means fewer shortage at the depot. But here is the harder half. Jaishankar told the Russians trade has jumped fourfold to nearly $60 billion. The deficit has widened to over $50 billion entirely in Russia's favor. So the question we will follow, is today's 14% a real rating or a headline pop-up with no assurance, with no volumes, no prices and no contract attached to it? And with Putin expected in Delhi for BRICS next month, does India finally get the market access to start closing that gap? Republic Business is tracking it. Back to you, Ishita.
All right, thanks so much, Rishita, for joining us and getting us the latest from the world of business. Thanks so much. Now we are shifting focus. A Pune resident has now shared a video showing a live worm moving inside a pastry he had bought from Paul, a bakery in the city. This comes amid a severe backlash that the cafe bakery giant has now been facing over a similar experience by a Gurugram customer who also found a live worm inside his sandwich. Here's a quick report on how such incidents are now raising questions over safety norms, and food safety violations are now happening across India. Take a look.
Another shocking video has surfaced online that has raised concerns over food safety. A resident of Pune has shared a video where a maggot was found inside a pastry. The pastry, which had been bought from the Paul India outlet in the city, had a live worm moving inside the eatable. The post comes a day after another customer's similar experience at Paul India's Gurugram outlet, where he found a live worm inside a sandwich. The resident who bought the pastry from the outlet, located in Phoenix Market City Mall, soon shared a video showing a live worm moving inside the pastry. However, there have been no response yet from Paul India's Pune outlet regarding the customer's video. The concerns raised over food safety highlight the need for stricter monitoring, proper hygiene practices, and greater accountability.
All right, here's now Prime Minister Narendra Modi has hailed 10 years of unified payments interface, highlighting its unprecedented scale and reach as a major milestone in India's digital transformation. Prime Minister Modi said, every Indian can now be proud of UPI's remarkable journey and its role in reshaping the country's digital payments ecosystem, while also seeking public experiences and views on how UPI has impacted their daily lives and made financial transactions more convenient and accessible. Viewers, UPI has emerged as a backbone of India's digital payments ecosystem. The UPI, which was launched on 25th of August 2016, has now surged almost 13,000-fold in transaction volume. Here's a quick report. Take a look.
We launched WhatsApp payments in India. That was possible because of the UPI system that has been built in India, a unified payments interface. It makes it easy for anyone to instantly accept payments across different apps.
With the India stack and UPI.
We have a table in the fiscal monitor that looks at some examples of how countries deploy cash transfers, and there's a lot to learn from India. It is actually quite impressive, in fact, just because of the sheer size of the country. It's a logistical marvel.
All right, viewers, so with that, we come to the end of this bulletin. Thanks so much for watching. And coming up on the other side, Supreme Court now rejects rapist Tarun Tejpal's plea seeking exemption from surrender, directs Tejpal to surrender within the next 2 weeks. All the updates lined up on the other side. Stay tuned.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है, स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Scott Bessent said the United States is entering the final phase of its campaign against Iran, launching what he described as an economic D-Day aimed at completely severing Tehran's financial lifelines. Writing in an opinion piece for a UK newspaper, the U.S. Treasury Secretary drew a direct line to the 1943 Tehran Conference, where Allied leaders weighed how to exert maximum pressure on Axis powers. Bessent argued that history has now returned that very same choice to the Iranian capital.
Coming up on the other side, Tarun Tejpal to now surrender as Supreme Court rejects his appeal, directing him to surrender within the next 2 weeks.
रंग 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 रंगीन रे, देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग बना रहे, वो जो पेंट्स रंग बना रहे। रंग 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 रंगीन रे, देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग 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 बना रहे। रंग 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 रंगीन रे, देखो कैसे भी हो दिन रंग 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 बना रहे। रंग 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 रंगीन रे, रंग 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 बना रहे, वो जो पेंट्स रंग बना रहे।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
सबका राजा और प्योर मसाला।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Very good afternoon, viewers. You're watching Republic. I'm Rakshita Mishra with you. And on Republic TV, we make a special announcement. We want you to join us as we are all set to celebrate a voice that has given Indian music some of its most unforgettable moments. From soulful melodies to high-energy anthems, Shankar Mahadevan has consistently pushed the boundaries of Indian music while staying rooted in its soul. A singer, composer, and performer whose voice can move from classical brilliance to contemporary magic. Shankar Mahadevan has created the music generations continue to connect with. And now we celebrate the legend, the voice, and the incredible journey of Shankar Mahadevan. Catch the special tribute only on Republic TV. Now it's time for headlines.
Headlines brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Supreme Court rejects rapist Tarun Tejpal's plea seeking exemption from surrender. Directs Tejpal to surrender within 2 weeks. West Bengal Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari orders crackdown on anti-national elements. Orders probe after anti-national slogans and graffitis emerge in Jadavpur University. Big win for Republic. Bengal Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari orders all fake cases against Republic Bangla to be withdrawn. Video emerges of Karnataka BJP MLA's daughter slapping police official. BJP MLA E. Suresh Gowda now says sorry. Sirsa Dera Chief rape convict Gurmeet Ram Rahim lodged in Sunaria jail in Rohtak, who's serving 2 separate 10-year sentences, once again has been granted 21. He's out now on furlough. This time he's been out on parole multiple times. ED flagged funds without FCRA registration, 2.88 crore rupees foreign funds under ED scanner. NSA National Security Advisor Ajit Doval on 2-day visit to Chennai meets Chinese Vice President. Talks scheduled with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi. Indo-China border peace and line of actual control in focus. All right, viewers, Chief Minister of Bengal, Shubhendu Adhikari, has now asked Jadavpur University authorities to conduct an inquiry into the objectionable and anti-national wall graffiti and drawings inside the hostel premises of Jadavpur University. In fact, he posted on X sharing a video of the graffiti and asserted that the campus premises must not be used as platforms for spreading propaganda and anti-India sentiment. Now, the Chief Minister's office has also received concerning videos and photographic representations to the Chief Minister's grievance cell. Shubhendu Adhikari says educational institutions are sacred spaces of learning, academic excellence, nation building, and under no circumstances would campus premises be permitted to be used for spreading propaganda and anti-India sentiment. Now, this also comes as 19th and on the 20th of August, clashes had broken out between activists and the SFI members, Students Federation of India, that's the student wing of the CPIM, and the ABVP students also were part of that clash outside the Jadavpur University in South Kolkata. Here's a report by my colleague Indrashish.
Controversial posters and photos have surfaced on the wall of various parts of Jadavpur University. This is the picture, and these photographs and videos of the material have already reached the Chief Minister's office. Several such images have reportedly been painted on the walls of Jadavpur University campus. Following allegations of anti-national activities, Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari has directed that the entire matter be investigated on the ground by visiting the spot. The Vice Chancellor of Jadavpur University and officials of Higher Education Department have been instructed to conduct an on-site investigation and take necessary action.
अभी तक नॉर्मल सिचुएशन ही है। जो प्रॉब्लम हुआ था उसको सॉल्व करने के लिए जो क्वेश्चंस लेना पड़ा हम लोग ले रहे हैं। इंक्वायरी कमीशन वाज फॉर्म्ड एंड पुलिस को जो हेल्प चाहिए हम लोग किया है। उन लोग को जो कोऑपरेशन जो यूनिवर्सिटी पार्ट से है हम लोग फुल्ली कोऑपरेट करेंगे।
उस दिन फिरसू में जो जीबी हो रहा था उसमें जो फिरसू का जीबी है मतलब वो बाय डिफॉल्ट हर किसी उस जीबी में इन्वाइटेड है। मतलब अगर वो इंजीनियरिंग का स्टूडेंट्स हो तो मतलब जो किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से जुड़ा हो, जैसे पीडीएसएफ हो, आईसा हो, लेफ्टिस्ट वाला ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पकड़िए या फिर आप राइटिस्ट वाला एबीवीपी हो, एनएसएफ हो, सबको। तो जब एबीवीपी वाला गया तो वहाँ पे जीबी करके अकाउंट जो सिग्नेटरी है वो उसका स्क्रीनशॉट भी आप देख सकते हैं। वो सिग्नेचर करने की जो वो है वो सिलेक्शन करने वाला था। तो उसने बोला कि ये दिस इज नॉट द लीगल प्रोसेस, इफ़ यू वांट टू select this then you have to go for election and let us go together to the dean of students and let them decide that when they will conduct the election. But वो लोग इस बात पे उन पर चढ़ाव हो गया है, तो चढ़ाव होकर उनको मारा भी है। उसके बाद वो लोग हॉस्पिटल एडमिट है और उसके बाद आप लोग सभी जानते हैं कि क्या क्या हो रहा है। और ये एक ऐसा तस्वीर है जो जहाँ पे ये लोगों को ये रिप्रेजेंट करता है कि इनको देश के बारे में चिंता नहीं है, बाहर के बारे में ज़्यादा चिंता है। तो ये देश के लिए सोचता है या बाहर के लिए आपको ज़्यादा मतलब आपको सोचना चाहिए।
लेकिन वेस्ट बंगाल गवर्नमेंट वर्तमान सरकार ने जो स्टेप ले रहा है इसके ऊपर उसका क्या कार्यक्रम है?
वो लोग बहुत डरे हुए हैं, रात में छुपे हुए थे, ठीक है। लेकिन ये बात स्पष्ट है, अगर हमारे एबीवीपी के किसी भी कार्यकर्ता पे एक भी आँचड़ आएगा, जो करना है हम करेंगे। एकदम सिंपल क्लियर मैसेज है और गवर्नमेंट हमारे साथ है। जो क्योंकि हम लोग लीगल है इसीलिए गवर्नमेंट हमारे साथ है, तो इस बात से हम लोग हमारी ABB की यूनिट की तरफ से गवर्नमेंट का भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ।
And a big win for Republic Network. Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari has announced that all cases registered against Republic Bangla will be withdrawn, terming the media network the worst sufferer of political vendetta in West Bengal. Adhikari says that the news channel had been subjected to targeted legal action under the previous administration, with the 31 district cases lodged against its journalists and management over the recent years. Listen in.
আপনি নিজেই বলেছেন 31 কেসেস লজ এগেইনস্ট রিপাবলিক মিডিয়া। সবাই দেখেছেন সন্ময় বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়কে তার পানিহাটির বাড়ি থেকে মারতে মারতে তুলে নিয়ে গিয়ে পুরুলিয়ার কেসে ট্যাগ করা হয়েছে। এমন প্রচুর উদাহরণ আছে। রিপাবলিক বাংলা তার মধ্যে সবচেয়ে বেশি সাফারার আই নো। আর অ্যাজ এ চিফ মিনিস্টার, অ্যাজ এ হোম মিনিস্টার, আমি ডিক্লেয়ার করছি ক্যাবিনেটে আমি রিপাবলিকের সব কেসকে উইথড্র করব। ইটস মাই কমিটমেন্ট। অল কেসেস আর ফলস, fabricated, lodged by the Mamata Banerjee's government due to their vendetta. এই জিনিস চলতে পারে না। মুক্ত কর ভয়, আপন মাঝে শক্তি ধর, নিজেরে কর জয়। তাই নরেন্দ্র মোদীজি বলেছিলেন ভয় আউট, ভরসা ইন।
And viewers, we have some breaking news coming in. Now, this is on the VVIP treatment, or rather the arrogance row, where the MLA's daughter had slapped a worker there, a policeman there in the temple. Republic TV has now questioned Karnataka BJP MLA Suresh Gowda just days after CCTV footage of woman police sub-inspector on duty being assaulted and threatened by the daughter of Suresh Gowda in the temple in Karnataka's Mandya district went viral. We spoke to Suresh Gowda. Listen in.
Actually, on that day, Bhima Amavasya, I think 12th of August, the incident was happened. Then I come to know that after the incident is over. So I asked my daughter what has happened. She told I had been to temple. My both grandchildren, our daughter and son, had a chicken pox. For that, she had gone to put a water on to the children. So in that incident, she requested the sub-inspector to let that Pujari should put the water on both the children. So she refused. After that, one more person has come to the temple. She let him inside the temple. So that time she asked the thing, why you allowed that person, why you are not allowing me? See, something, I brought 2 children, they had the chicken pox. Let me 1 minute, I will go and come inside the temple and requested. So that became a worst to worst conversation was happened. So action, reaction. What my daughter has said, something, what the sub-inspector has told, I don't know. Police officers always, they have pressure in the public places. Because huge crowd was there, they have to control it. My daughter should also listen to what the police officer has says. Because we have to obey the officers when we are in the public life. So people goes to the temple for the peace of mind, not to lose the peace of mind.
But in that particular video, sir, it is your daughter who first slapped the poor sub-inspector, and then in reply she also slaps. Like, what might be the reason? Because Aishwarya lost the cool.
No, why we lose the control? When some officers say something, abuse the things in the temple, inside the temple. Okay, my daughter says she abused the thing, my husband, my children, all this, that's what I control the thing. I don't know what exact it is. Whether it is true or not, I don't know. So we should have a inquiry. So that I don't require also. See, it is a temple. In the anger it was happened. In the patience, both should have patience. Police officers should also have a patience to handle the public.
And my colleague Abhishek joins us for more. Abhishek, well, we see that Suresh Gowda tried to explain what really happened, but now it has blown out into a big controversy. Tell us more details. And where is the daughter? And has there been any action or anything that has taken place as far as this incident is concerned?
Well, this incident broke out on the 12th of this month, which was Wednesday, and which was also celebrated as Bhimana Amavasya across Karnataka, which held a traditional value of people visiting the temple that particular day. And Suresh Gowda, as mentioned in our interview, has mentioned the fact that his daughter had gone to the Ukkada Arti temple located in Srirangpatna because both his grandchildren had got chicken pox, and he wanted the holy water of the god to be splashed on these children. And that is when the PSI stopped Aishwarya from getting into the VVIP line, and after which Aishwarya also questioned why two more other persons were let ahead of her, even though they did not belong to any VVIP, they weren't any ticket holders. Altercation has broken down in between them, after which Suresh Gowda, as per his allegation, mentions the fact that the police sub-inspector verbally abused the daughter of the MLA, and that is when she lost her cool and slapped the sub-inspector and also subsequently we've seen the video where even the sub-inspector slapped Aishwarya. An FIR has been registered by both the parties. A complaint had been given by both the parties. One complaint had been registered by the sub-inspector on Aishwarya Gowda for not allowing the sub-inspector to do her dispose of her duties. On the other hand, Aishwarya has also given in a counter complaint and it has also been registered. But an FIR has been registered against Aishwarya. On the other note, we have also seen Suresh Gowda, who mentioned the fact that rule makers cannot be the rule breakers. No matter what, we will have to abide the rules of the law, and he will make sure that he will follow the course of action of the law, and he doesn't support the action of what his daughter did a couple of days ago, and he's publicly apologized to what has happened. And he also claims the fact that it was the mistake of his daughter to slap a sub-inspector who was on duty, and also request the sub-inspector as well as the police department to make sure that this doesn't go to the next level. And also we are seeing that some of the political pressure being built up on the running government to make sure that Aishwarya doesn't face the backlash of the law. But we will have to see what unfolds in the next couple of hours.
All right, thanks so much, Abhishek, for joining us with details coming in on that story. Now we shift our focus to some breaking news coming in right now. The body of a 15-year-old class 8 student, Mithun, who fell into an open drain in southeast Delhi's Jasola on the 22nd of August while chasing a kite, has been recovered now by the NDRF and the Delhi police teams. And just after a multi-day search, his body has been recovered, swept away by fast-flowing water around 11 a.m. The boy, from a labourer's family originally from Uttar Pradesh, could not be located despite efforts by the Delhi Fire Service, Delhi police. But now we have the NDRF, DDMA, boat club teams and other teams in desperate search for a day. Father even entered the drain himself. The tragedy now raising sharp questions over the safety and maintenance of these. All right, Saurav is joining us live on the broadcast. Saurav, tell us more details about this, please.
Right, Rakshita. Now the body of the 15-year-old boy Mithun has been recovered after the 3 days of intensive search operation conducted by the multi-agencies, including the NDRF and the Delhi Police and the boat club. However, after 3 days, the body of the boy has been recovered from a Jasola drain, which was purely open, and there is no barrier present at the spot so that the children and the others could be safe around it. However, now the body of the 15-year-old boy have been sent to the post-mortem by the concerned agencies into the nearby hospital. But this clearly shows the complete negligence on the part of the Municipal Corporation of Delhi, which as this drain comes under them, and the maintenance and covering of this drain responsibility falls on the MCD only. However, a junior engineer of the area has been suspended by the senior officers, but still another life has been lost in the national capital. We have seen that several of these cases took place in the starting of 2026, but no lessons were learned by the authorities, and now again a 15-year-old Mithun has lost his life. And I want to tell our viewers that this incident took place on August 22 at around 11 a.m. While he was getting ready for the school, he was in school uniform. He saw a kite hanging on a tree. He tried to retrieve that kite. While doing so, his foot slipped and he directly fell into that water. And after that, since 3 days, his body has been still missing, and today the authorities have recovered his body at around 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. And it's been 3 days since the body was not recovered by the authorities despite several efforts, as that drain has a fast moving water in it. But there are other difficulties also faced by the municipal agencies while doing this operation, Rakshita.
All right, thank you so much, Saurabh, for joining us. A very tragic news that is coming in now from Delhi. Unfortunately, the child died because of that open drain in southeast Delhi. Now we were shifting our focus. It's a major H-1B visa shock for skilled foreign workers and especially for the Indian professionals. Trump administration has proposed an additional fee, that is $103,265 fee for H-1B applications subject to the annual cap. Now, this move comes after a previous $100,000 H-1B fee was struck down by the U.S. court. Vice President J.D. Vance has now made the administration's position clear that American companies that need workers should hire and train Americans first. India stands to be among the countries who are most affected, with the Indian nationals accounting for about 71% of all H-1B beneficiaries in the fiscal year 2024. Here's more.
A fresh H-1B shock from the Trump administration. $103,265. That's the additional fees the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has proposed for the H-1B cap subject petitions. This isn't just for the applicants coming from abroad. The proposed fee would apply to all H-1B petitions subject to the annual cap, including applications eligible under the U.S. master's degree exemption. The H-1B program allows American employers to hire foreign workers in specialized occupations, particularly across technology, engineering, research, and other highly skilled sectors. Under the congressional cap, the United States currently allows 65,000 H-1B visas every year under the regular quota, with another 20,000 slots reserved for foreign workers holding a master's degree or higher education from the U.S. institutions. That means the proposed fee would potentially apply across the 85,000 visa cap subject pool, and the financial impact could be enormous. Department of Homeland Security estimates the proposed fee could generate approximately $8.8 billion annually. This is based on the 85,000 cap subject petitions. But there is an important distinction. This is a proposed additional fee, not a final rule, which brings the spotlight firmly onto India. Because when it comes to H-1B visa program, India is by far the largest beneficiary. USCIS data shows that in fiscal year 2024, Indian nationals accounted for 283,755 approved H-1B petitions, which is around 71% of all approved H-1B petitions. China was a distant second, with about 11.7%. The Trump administration says the objective is not to shut the doors on foreign talent. It says the objective is to make American employers think twice before replacing or bypassing American workers. And hence, Vice President J.D. Vance has now delivered that message in an unmistakable term. But for American technology companies and other employers, it depends on global talent and means a dramatic increase in the cost of recruitment. For India, the stakes are particularly high. Indian professionals dominate the H-1B program. Now, this proposed $1,03,265 fees has put the future of the H-1B program firmly back on the center of the US-India talent debate.
And viewers, with that, we now take a quick check of other stories we're tracking for you from across the country. One labourer killed while another injured after National Highway slab collapsed and fell on them. Officials stated that the incident occurred while construction work was underway and that the structure gave way. An investigation into the incident is underway. Two hospital buildings were completely damaged after land subsidence occurred, with sections of both structures sinking into the ground. Wide cracks have appeared across the road, extending several meters. No major injuries have been reported in the incident. Administrative, revenue and rescue teams rushed to the affected area and shifted the affected families to safer locations. The city of Gurugram experienced heavy rainfall, leading to severe waterlogging on roads and pathways. Children were seen playing in the waterlogged areas, while heavy trucks became stuck and partially sank into the ground due to the heavy rainfall. "17 releases and 17 times out of jail." We're talking about a rape convict, Dera Sacha Sauda chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh. He's out on furlough. The convicted rapist, serving a 20-year sentence for raping two women disciples, has been granted a 21-day temporary release. This is Ram Rahim's 17th temporary release since he was jailed. So furlough, parole is called at all. And it makes this release significant because unlike several outings earlier at Barnawa in Uttar Pradesh, the Dera chief is now once again being allowed to stay at the Sirsa headquarters. Here's a report.
Rape convict Gurmeet Ram Rahim is once again walking out of the prison, this time on a 21-day furlough. Over the years, he has repeatedly been granted parole or furlough, triggering questions over how many times a convicted prisoner can be allowed temporary freedom. In his previous outings, Ram Rahim was sent to Dera Barnawa Ashram in Bagpat, Uttar Pradesh. Ram Rahim was convicted by a special CBI court in 2017 for raping two women disciples at the Dera Sacha Sauda headquarters in Sirsa. However, in the latest video, he has increasingly been allowed to stay at the Sirsa headquarters, making this his third consecutive visit over there. These releases have often drawn political and public scrutiny, particularly because of his large following in Haryana and Punjab and their proximity to elections. The latest furlough has once again put the spotlight on the parole for high-profile prisoners. Ram Rahim is also serving a life sentence in murder case of former Dera manager Ranjit Singh. He was additionally convicted in the murder of journalist Ram Chandra Chhatrapati.
Chief Election Commissioner Ganesh Kumar says that conducting the Special Intensive Revision, that is SIR, required a good rapport between officials and citizens. Now, he says that the SIR required both the courage of the Election Commission and the cooperation of the voters. His remarks come after US President Donald Trump praised the voter verification initiative as part of India's electorate system.
The Chief Election Commissioner Ganesh Kumar underlined the strength of Indian electoral system at a regional conference in Lucknow. Speaking at the second regional conference on electoral literacy clubs and ECI Net, organized by the ECI in Lucknow, Kumar praised the electoral process and the SIR. He stated that conducting the SIR required the courage of the Election Commission as well as the cooperation of voters. He stated that elections in India are held strictly in accordance with the Constitution and conducted with transparency. The remarks come after the US President Donald Trump had praised India's voter ID card system and hailed it as a model for stricter US election rules.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Live and Breaking. And on the other side, we continue to track more details on the reaction of the BJP MLA, whose daughter in the video has been seen slapping a police official. He now says he's sorry for what his daughter did.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
Scott Bessent said the United States is entering the final phase of its campaign against Iran, launching what he described as an economic D-Day aimed at completely severing Tehran's financial lifelines. Writing in an opinion piece for a UK newspaper, the US Treasury Secretary drew a direct line to the 1943 Tehran Conference, where Allied leaders weighed how to exert
Supreme Court rejects rapist Tarun Tejpal's plea seeking exemption from surrender. Directs Tejpal to surrender within 2 weeks. West Bengal Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari orders crackdown on anti-national elements. Orders probe after anti-national slogans, graffitis emerge in Jadavpur University. Big win for Republic. Bengal Chief Minister Shubhendu orders all fake cases against Republic Bangla to be withdrawn. More videos emerge of Karnataka BJP MLA's daughter slapping the police official at the temple. BJP MLA B. Suresh Gowda now says sorry. Sirsa Dera Chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim currently lodged in Sunaria jail in Rohtak, serving 2 separate 10-year sentences in the Dera Sacha Sauda rape case, has been granted 21 days of furlough. ED flags funds without FCRA registration, 2 crore 88 lakh rupees foreign funds under ED scanner. NSA Doval on 2-day visit to China meets Vice President of China, scheduled to speak to Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi.
And viewers, we begin with a top story of the day. The Supreme Court directed rapist and former Tehelka editor Tarun Tejpal to surrender within 2 weeks, rejecting his plea for exemption from surrendering before his appeal. The Goa bench of the Bombay High Court on August 6 convicted Tarun Tejpal and sentenced him to 10 years in prison for raping a former colleague in 2013, overturning his 2021 acquittal in this case. And this comes after he was sentenced to 10 years of rigorous imprisonment after convicting him of the 2013 rape case. And he has appealed to Supreme Court for exemption. In fact, before that, the Goa government has also sought a maximum punishment for Tarun Tejpal in this case. My colleague Sarthak joins us to give us more information in this latest that we're tracking. Sarthak, give us more details. This is the Supreme Court where the Solicitor General, in fact, was arguing that no means no in this particular case. And in fact, the Supreme Court has now given a 2 weeks time for Tarun Tejpal to surrender. In fact, we also heard the arguments who was representing Tarun Tejpal, Kapil Sibal. He was arguing that he was a senior citizen. But then the question still remains that a woman's no means no, and that was also, in fact, observed in the court. And now the Supreme Court has given him just a 2 weeks time to surrender. Give us more details that you're tracking so far, Sarthak.
Absolutely, Amrita. But before that, if we have to refresh the memory of our viewers, back in 2013, such a heinous and shameful crime was committed by former Tehelka editor Tarun Tejpal, after which in 2021, the Sessions Court had actually acquitted him, after which an appeal was filed before the Bombay High Court, where finally on August 6, 2026, he was convicted in that offence. He was given 10 years of life imprisonment, and against which he filed an appeal before the Supreme Court. Also, what he was expecting from the Supreme Court was an exemption of the 4-week period that was given by the Bombay High Court to surrender, to exempt the surrender order. However, to the utter dismay and surprise of Tarun Tejpal, Supreme Court has completely rejected that plea. Now he has been given 2 weeks time to surrender, and this means that he has already been convicted. 10 years imprisonment has already been ordered by the Bombay High Court, and now if he has to appeal before the Supreme Court, he has to fight that from the jail itself. He has to surrender within 2 weeks' time. Arguments took place today, and on the last date of hearing as well, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, who was representing the Goa government, had said that Tarun Tejpal had two options. Either he could directly surrender before the police, as it has been directed by the Bombay High Court, or he could file an exemption application before the Bombay High Court for against that 4 weeks time that has been given by the Bombay High Court. He did not do any of that. He directly moved to Supreme Court, filed a plea in the Supreme Court, expecting Supreme Court to intervene and exempt him from that surrender order. However, Supreme Court has completely denied that. He has 2 weeks time to surrender now. And also to remind the viewers, there is another plea that has been filed by the Goa government for the extension of the sentence order that was passed by the Bombay High Court. He was given 10 years of imprisonment, and now they are expecting that maximum punishment should be given to Tarun Tejpal, because the sentence that has been given, the 10-year sentence that has been given, is disproportionate to the nature of offence that he has committed. So what they are expecting is to give him life imprisonment. So these two pleas are still pending before the Supreme Court. But today's breaking news is that Tarun Tejpal has been given 2 weeks time to surrender by the Supreme Court. Amrita.
That's right. In fact, he now has to face his sentence after being convicted of this crime. Thank you so much, Sarthak, for giving us all of those details on this. And viewers, big breaking news that we're tracking at this moment. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh has approved the transfer of technology for all DRDO-developed conventional missile systems to the Indian defense industry. This now enables domestic companies, including MSMEs, to manufacture these systems in India, supporting the goal of Atmanirbharta in defense. This move is intended to shift missile systems from development to large-scale industrial production, boost the domestic defense manufacturing base and supply chain, reduce import dependence, and increase domestic value addition and operational capability. Now, DRDO will be working very closely with industries to facilitate the technology absorption, subject to applicable qualifications, certifications, and regulations as well. My colleague Ishan joins us to give us more details in this big breakthrough. In fact, this once again reaffirms India's commitment towards Atmanirbharta in defense. And now we are getting reports, in fact, MSMEs will be open to, in fact, work with the DRDO to improve these manufacturing capability for the Indian defense. Tell us more on this, Ishan.
Absolutely, this approval of transfer of technology of all DRDO developed conventional missile system marks a structural shift. This is not just an incremental policy tweak, but builds on the 2026 move that ended a near monopoly of Bharat Dynamics Limited. Now, this development production partnership proposes that once the technology has been developed by research centers such as DRDO and other research centers such as the other research laboratories under the forces, these systems will be shifted to private players as well for mass production. Now, modern conflicts have already shown the need for large volumes of precision missiles rather than a small number of exquisite systems. Now, earlier what happened was a few DPSUs could not scale fast enough for the rising demand from the three services. So this competitive bidding for TOT system has been integrated, will spread widespread manufacturing load across multiple players. This should compress timelines from development to induction. Right now what happens is that a missile is developed, it is tested and it is approved, but production timelines are very large and it takes years to create a proper structure that provides a consistent production flow and consistent production that would provide the army for its needs or the air force for its needs or the navy for its needs. And all of this has been appended by this TOT. Now this appending is a good thing because this will create an entire industry that the load will now be spread across multiple players so that if required and whenever required, the ramping up process of production of precision missiles will take place, and it will be a great booster to the private competitors and private defense industry in India. Now this defense industry has been developing, and Indian defense industry has shown the capability not only to manufacture but to research as well. So the research load will also be spread from DRDO to other private players as well. So this entire space will now see a great boost, not only in value addition, but also in domestic production and export as well.
That's right. That's right. In fact, a big move from the defense sector. Thank you so much for giving us all of those updates, Ishan. And another breaking news that's coming in at the moment. Kirti Sanon's ad has sparked a Raksha Bandhan row. Now, BJP MP Kangana Ranaut calls Kirti's clothes bikini in this particular ad. In fact, she continues to say that the advertisement look intentionally creepy. And now there's been a response from Kirti Sanon. She has hit back against Kangana Ranaut, saying that don't tell women what to wear. This particular advertisement on Raksha Bandhan has triggered a tit-for-tat between the two actors on this as well. And saying that, once again saying that don't tell women what to wear after MP Kangana Ranaut's statements. My colleague Aditi joins us to give us more details into this. Aditi, tell us in the breakdown for us what this advertisement was, and we're getting to know that what a woman wears is once again on the debate has been put. This is between two women actors as well. Tell us more that you've been tracking so far.
Absolutely, Amrita, and it's shameful for one woman to take down the another one with such a post where Kangana Ranaut has said that, you know, there was this criticism for Kriti Sanon. This ad came out this week before Raksha Bandhan, which is on Friday. But before that, this ad came out, and then several people were trolling Kriti Sanon, and it was okay for everybody to have an opinion. But what came down now to make it a row is with BJP MP from Mandi, Kangana Ranaut, picking it up and saying that it is intentionally creepy. Why would an actor wear such skimpy clothes, a bikini top, while celebrating a bond between a brother and a sister? But then Kriti Sanon has rightfully said, while hitting back at the BJP MP, that a woman should not be judged by her clothes. This is a festival between a brother and a sister, and clothes do not matter. Emotions matter. This is what a one-line response has been, and very rightly so. Clothes do not matter, and I hope that men today are not worried about the clothes, but also about the intention of the people or of the women. And in 2026, if we are still debating on what women wear, then it is shameful enough.
That's right. In fact, and this is again happening between two women actors. And we'll continue to see that this debate once again comes up in various phases. And in fact, we have a big breaking news coming in. We're cutting across to Piyush Goyal, who is in Japan. He's speaking right now. Let's listen to him.
electronics manufacturing base. Japan, I can see from the comments made here, has engaged in the semiconductor ecosystem, whether it's materials, whether it's gases, whether it's equipment, whether it's logistics, fab, and finally, of course, the ATMP, the entire process, including design, at a very early date. And therefore, you have advanced semiconductor equipment, materials, specialty chemicals, precision manufacturing and process technology, deep industrial and R&D capabilities, and have been able to establish global-scale semiconductor industries. Thus, the complementarity between Japan and India makes it a very strategic opportunity. And I do hope that working together, we can truly meet the aspiration of 1.4 billion Indians and the growing opportunities that Japan is looking for through the India growth story. Our own electronic story has also undergone a profound structural shift. Production has grown fivefold in the last 10 years. Exports have touched nearly $45–50 billion in recent years. But as I said, the India story has also just begun. I see a Japanese footprint in our India transformation and progress towards the semiconductor industry is showing fruits of turning into reality. The CG Power facility in Sanand, one of the first plants to commence commercial production, is anchored by Renesas Electronics from Japan. This is a lighthouse project out of the $19 billion of projects that are already underway. I think the momentum is sharp, and I do believe that the intention on both sides is very strong. Both our leaders have discussed this issue in great detail during the visit of Her Excellency, the Prime Minister of Japan, Ms. Sene, to India last month. And all the 6 pillars, the first pillar of design, where we aim to develop IPs, design of chips and systems, and work with India as a key semiconductor chip design partner country. Second pillar of machines and materials, where companies involved in manufacturing and R&D are welcome, chemicals and gases are welcome, all of these being essential for our manufacturing industry and will be incentivized. We hope that this will lay the foundation for sustainable growth in India and will help develop the precision manufacturing of semiconductors back home in India. In the third pillar, we are looking at setting up more fab units. The first fab is scheduled to be commissioned in 2028. The world is showing greater confidence in India. We will make efforts to attract more manufacturers to come to India to set up fabs and manufacture chips, including silicon fabs, compound semiconductor fabs, discrete component fabs, display fabs, etc. In the fourth pillar, we wish to further strengthen the ATMP and OSAT industry. We've had some success in Semicon 1 with ATMP. We hope that ATMP and OSAT units will come in greater numbers in Semicon 2 and beyond. The fifth pillar on research and development is a journey which we started with 28 nanometer up to 110 nanometer as the nodes that we are looking at. Now the focus will be on developing more advanced nodes and other advanced technologies in collaboration with Japanese companies. In the sixth pillar is talent development, which was alluded to towards the end of our discussion. We have 315 universities now training our students on complex chip design using the latest EDA tools. And so far, 68,000 students have been trained at different levels. We wish to develop this process further and deepen the level of engagement with Japanese companies to promote training in our colleges, in our universities. We hope the Japanese industry will be actively engaged in deepening the clean room, fab construction, and other ecosystem training as well. Friends, sky is the limit in terms of potential. It is for industry from both the Indian side and the Japanese side to grab the opportunity. I have noted some of the concerns that were flagged off today. The concerns about BIS certification was also flagged off yesterday when Okubo-san from Tokyo Electron discussed it in detail. And I'm happy to share with you that we have taken action yesterday itself. We have already instructed BIS and the Ministry of Commerce and Industry to work on a framework to support high-tech industry, not necessarily only Japanese companies, but high-tech industries coming in to promote the Make in India program, to create a framework of exemption from BIS certification required for all the equipment and components that they need to bring to India to promote their manufacturing in India. I believe it's a very logical step, given that Tokyo Electron and companies such as yours, which come in to make high-quality semicon products, are going to get high-quality products into the country. You are not going to compromise on quality at all, even if it comes at a cheaper price. So with that confidence, we'll be creating a framework which will either give company-level or industry-level exemptions. We will work on the framework as I get back to India and find a solution for bulk exemption or product or project-based exemption or company-based exemption so that we can have timely supply of products, goods, and services and support your work in India. Similarly, I have noted what was mentioned by some of the participants, I think more particularly by Fuji Electric Company Limited, about regulatory complexity. I think at the central level, you will not find us wanting, but I assure you that even at the state or local level, we will stand ready and willing to support you fully. States in India are also aligned, irrespective of political affiliation, with this mission. And we will be completely at your disposal and at the disposal of companies from around the world who come to India to be a part of our foray into the semiconductor industry, in high-tech businesses, in the artificial intelligence or quantum computing sector, in the process of setting up data centers. We will be working closely with all of you, even at the local and state level. We have noted your point about social infrastructure, and I do believe it's very important that just like we created infrastructure in the 11 Japanese industrial townships, where we created smart cities, where we tried to bring the feel of Japan into the social infrastructure. Dholera, we are working on those lines, so that between Dholera and Sanand, we can create social infrastructure like schooling, lodging, hospital, restaurants, hotels. I think possibly a golf course should also be created, so that we can make you feel at home. And all the Japanese expats and experts, we assure you that we will make sure that places like Dholera, Jagi Road, and other places where you are setting up operations will have reliable electricity, ultra-pure water, clean room infrastructure, waste treatment, and high-quality logistics, along with social infrastructure, to make your journey in India faster and much more exciting. You have also raised the issue of SEZ notifications. We have discussed this in detail yesterday also, and will take timely action so that all your companies can take the benefits of the incentives offered through the SEZ framework or the EU framework or the MOOWR framework, whichever one each one of you chooses in different parts of the country. I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, we are seized of the partnership's potential and will work through our mission to remain engaged with all of you. You have an open door waiting for you in the mission, in my Ministry of Commerce and Industry, in the Ministry of Electronics and IT, led by my friend and colleague, Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav, back home in India. And together, we will make your journey pleasurable, fruitful, profitable, and prosperous. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
And that was Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. He was addressing and speaking in Japan, and he was also speaking about the manufacturing and industrial ties with Japan, and how India is looking forward to tying up. Especially, he mentioned about semiconductor manufacturing and the extraction of the critical minerals as well. And he was also talking about those semiconductors in developing jointly with Japan in terms of the 6 pillars that he mentioned, including the design, the research and development as well, and the 6 pillars that he mentioned. And he was also speaking on a big push towards improving the manufacturing hubs in the country. And viewers, moving on, in a big win for Republic Network, Chief Minister Subendu Adhikari has announced that all cases registered against Republic Bangla will be withdrawn, terming the media network the worst sufferer of political vendetta in West Bengal. Subendu Adhikari also stated that the news channel had been subjected to targeted legal action under the previous administration, with 31 distinct cases lodged against its journalists and management over recent years. In fact, he made this summit yesterday in our Bangla summit, and he was speaking about our Bangla being subjected to 31 fake cases, which he announced that all the 31 cases will now be withdrawn. This is in fact a big win for Republic, and the Subendu Adhikari administration has said that that will be put into effect very soon. The latest that we're tracking, and a big win for Republic, in fact. And also, let's listen in to exactly what he said in this regard. Take a listen.
আপনি নিজেই বলেছেন 31 কেসেস লজ এগেইনস্ট রিপাবলিক মিডিয়া। সবাই দেখেছেন সন্ময় বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়কে তার পানিহাটির বাড়ি থেকে মারতে মারতে তুলে নিয়ে গিয়ে পুরুলিয়ার কেসে ট্যাগ করা হয়েছে। এমন প্রচুর উদাহরণ আছে। রিপাবলিক বাংলা তার মধ্যে সবচেয়ে বেশি সাফারার, আই নো। আর অ্যাজ এ চিফ মিনিস্টার, অ্যাজ এ হোম মিনিস্টার, আমি ডিক্লেয়ার করছি ক্যাবিনেটে আমি রিপাবলিকের সব কেসকে উইথড্র করব। ইটস মাই কমিটমেন্ট। All cases are false, fabricated, lodged by the Mamata Banerjee's government due to their vendetta. এ জিনিস চলতে পারে না। মুক্ত কর ভয়, আপন মাঝে শক্তি ধর, নিজেরে কর জয়। তাই নরেন্দ্র মোদীজি বলেছিলেন, ভয় আউট, ভরসা ইন।
And now slipping into a very short break, but we'll be right back with you with more updates on the other side. Coming up next, Sirsa Dera Chief Gurmit Ram Rahim, currently lodged in Sunaria jail in Rohtak and serving 2 separate 10-year sentences in Dera Sacha Sola rape cases, has been granted 21 days of furlough. Coming up next.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट अब बताओ स्वाद आया
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट
I wake up wearing someone else again. Don't let it slip. I'm losing. I don't wanna be safe anymore. Underneath there's a
Finding myself. That's my moment of Sarah.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला।
AU सेविंग्स अकाउंट में मिलते हैं अमेजिंग बेनिफिट्स, पेपरलेस बैंकिंग एंड हायर इंटरेस्ट, वो भी हर महीने।
मनी 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 एवरी मंथ। सोच बदलो और बैंक भी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है, स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चंकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो।
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला।
Coming up after a very short break, a video emerges of Karnataka BJP MLA's daughter slapping police official. BJP MLA B. Suresh Gowda now says sorry. Coming up next.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Scott Besson.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
And now, viewers, we request you to join us on Republic as we celebrate a voice that has given Indian music some of its most unforgettable moments. From the soulful melodies to the high-energy anthems, Shankar Mahadevan has consistently pushed the boundaries of Indian music while staying rooted in its soul. A singer, a composer, and a performer whose voice can move from classical brilliance to contemporary magic. Shankar Mahadevan has created music that generations continue to connect with. And now we celebrate the legend himself, the voice and the incredible journey of Shankar Mahadevan. Catch the special tribute only on Republic TV. It's time now for the headlines. Supreme Court rejects rapist Tarun Tejpal's plea seeking exemption from surrender, directs him to surrender within 2 weeks. West Bengal Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari orders crackdown on anti-national elements, orders probe after anti-national slogans and graffitis emerge in Jadavpur University. Big win for Republic TV. Bengal Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari orders all fake cases against Republic Bangla to be withdrawn. Video emerges of Karnataka BJP MLA's daughter slapping police official. BJP MLA Suresh Gowda now says sorry. Sirsa Dera Chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim currently lodged in Sunaria jail, serving 2 separate 10-year death sentences in rape cases, has been granted 21 days of furlough. ED flags funds without FCR registration, 2.88 crore rupee foreign funds under ED scanner. NSA Ajit Doval is on a 2-day visit to China, meets Chinese Vice President, talks scheduled with his Chinese counterpart, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, on the border and boundary issues. Viewers, Chief Minister of West Bengal, Shubhendu Adhikari, has asked Jadavpur University authorities to conduct an inquiry into the objectionable and anti-national wall graffiti and drawings inside the hostel premises. And on a social media platform X, he has shared a video of the graffiti and has added that the campus premises must not be used for platforms for spreading propaganda and anti-India sentiment. Now, viewers, the Chief Minister's office has also received concerning videos like the ones we are running right now and photographic representations to the CM's grievance cell. You can see what all has been written in on the walls, the Chashme Awam, vision of masses, so on and so forth. There are many such slogans that have been written. These are also, we've seen that even there have been clashes also that have broken out between ABVP, the SFI students, the left and the right-wing student organizations. And you can see the break fascism and such graffiti on the walls of Jadavpur University. 19th and 20th of August was when the clashes had broken out between the activists of the Students' Federation of India, that is the CPIM student wing, and the ABVP outside the Jadavpur University in South Kolkata. So you can see Free Palestine slogans are also now painted over there. And BJP's Priyanka Tibrewal is joining us live on the broadcast. Mr. Brewal, this is Jadavpur University has been in the controversies earlier as well, but right now we see these clashes happening and then these graffitis. Shubhendu Adhikari, the Chief Minister, has now also ordered an inquiry into the matter. Ma'am, how do you react to what's going on?
See, it was reported by some of the consented students who said that these kind of images and graffiti was found there on the walls. Now we have to understand that why is an educational institution being used for these kind of drawings or theatrics or rhetoric or any kind of anti-India feelings which they are trying to arise amongst the students. This has to be really looked into, not just that, a proper investigation, a thorough investigation has to be done. Because this is not that the first time this college or the university is come into question. Before this also a number of occasions we have seen. We also remember that there was an occasion where, the then member of parliament, who was a member of parliament, Babul Supriyo, with Bharatiya Janata Party, visited the college and the university, and he was surrounded inside the university and was not allowed to move outside. Now, we completely believe with our government in West Bengal, which is a zero tolerance government or any kind of gundaism or anti-national activities, and we follow a zero tolerance policy. So the campuses and these educational institutions, stringent action should be taken in these places where we believe that no kind of politics or anti-national or anti-India activities should be encouraged in these colleges. So the university has to seriously look into this, because this is not just by chance, but this is on purpose that these kind of things are prevailing in the university.
Absolutely. So, we've seen that these activities have gone unchecked many a times in different parts of the country and even in West Bengal. But this time, we see that there has been a prompt action from the government.
See, not just the action. What I believe is, in order to stop this kind of divisive rhetoric and unsocial activities, certain discipline needs to be maintained in the university. Like I told you about the past, I will just mention one or two incidents. Like in August 2023, a first-year student, Swapnadeep Kundu, he was just 17. He was subjected to ragging and sexual harassment, and he fell from the hostel balcony and he died. Now, what was the investigation which was done after that? We don't know, because the then government did not think that it was important to investigate certain issues like these, where, discipline of the college is hampered. So we are strictly speaking about the discipline of the institution. We are saying that an educational institution is there to provide education and to bring out the youth of the nation so that tomorrow they are the future of our country. But if instead of grooming these students, if these kind of theatrics are done in the college and to create an anti-national feeling and anti-India feeling, then this has to be looked into.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Tejpal, for joining us with your reaction on that development. We're closely tracking from West Bengal. In the meantime, we also have my colleague from our Bangla filing this report from the Jadhav University.
Controversial posters and photos have surfaced on the wall of various parts of Jadavpur University. This is the picture, and these photographs and videos of the material have already reached the Chief Minister's office. Several such images have reportedly been painted on the walls of Jadavpur University campus. Following allegations of anti-national activities, Chief Minister Shubhendu Adhikari has directed that the entire matter be investigated on the ground by visiting the spot. The Vice Chancellor of Jadavpur University and officials of Higher Education Department have been instructed to conduct an on-site investigation and take necessary action.
अभी तक नॉर्मल सिचुएशन ही है. जो प्रॉब्लम हुआ था उसको सॉल्व करने के लिए जो क्वेश्चंस लेना पड़ा हम लोग ले रहे हैं. इंक्वायरी कमीशन वाज फॉर्म्ड एंड पुलिस को जो हेल्प चाहिए हम लोग किया है. उन लोग को जो कोऑपरेशन जो यूनिवर्सिटी पार्ट से है हम लोग फुल्ली कोऑपरेट करेंगे.
उस दिन फिरसू में जो जीबी हो रहा था, उसमें जो फिरसू का जीबी है, मतलब वो बाय डिफॉल्ट हर किसी उस जीबी में इन्वाइटेड है. मतलब अगर वो इंजीनियरिंग का स्टूडेंट्स हो तो मतलब जो किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से जुड़ा हो, जैसे पीडीएसएफ हो, आईसा हो, लेफ्टिस्ट वाला ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पकड़िए, या फिर आप राइटिस्ट वाला एबीवीपी हो, एनएसएफ हो, सबको. तो जब एबीवीपी वाला गया तो वहाँ पे जीबी करके अकाउंट जो सिग्नेटरी है वो उसका स्क्रीनशॉट भी आप देख सकते हैं. वो सिग्नेचर करने की जो वो है वो सिलेक्शन करने वाला था. तो उसने बोला कि ये दिस इज नॉट द लीगल प्रोसेस. इफ़ यू वांट टू select this, then you have to go for election and let us go together to the dean of students and let them decide that when they will conduct the election. But वो लोग इस बात पे उन पर चढ़ाव हो गया है, तो चढ़ाव होकर उनको मारा भी है. उसके बाद वो लोग हॉस्पिटल एडमिट है और उसके बाद आप लोग सभी जानते हैं कि क्या क्या हो रहा है. और ये एक ऐसा तस्वीर है जो जहाँ पे ये लोगों को ये रिप्रेजेंट करता है कि इनको देश के बारे में चिंता नहीं है, बाहर के बारे में ज़्यादा चिंता है. तो ये देश के लिए सोचता है या बाहर के लिए, आपको ज़्यादा मतलब आपको सोचना चाहिए.
लेकिन वेस्ट बंगाल गवर्नमेंट वर्तमान सरकार ने जो स्टेप ले रहा है इसके ऊपर उसका क्या कार्यक्रम है?
वो लोग बहुत डरे हुए हैं, रात में छुपे हुए थे. ठीक है, लेकिन ये बात स्पष्ट है, अगर हमारे एबीवीपी के किसी भी कार्यकर्ता पे एक भी आंचड़ आएगा, जो करना है हम करेंगे. एकदम सिंपल क्लियर मैसेज है. और गवर्नमेंट हमारे साथ है, जो क्योंकि हम लोग लीगल है इसीलिए गवर्नमेंट हमारे साथ है. तो इस बात से हम लोग हमारे एबीवीपी की यूनिट की तरफ से गवर्नमेंट का भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ.
And viewers, we have some breaking news coming in from the national capital. This is amidst the outbreak of swine flu cases Now, CM Rekha Gupta has called for an emergency meeting on swine flu and the rise of swine flu-related cases in the national capital. The H1N1 situation, the Chief Minister says, is under control. Around 3,000 cases have been recorded, viewers. But Rekha Gupta right now is holding a meeting. But the Health Minister says that the situation is under control. Health Minister Pankaj Singh also said that isolation wards have been set up across Delhi hospitals, and all this amid the H1N1 surge. So isolation was set up across the national capital, says the minister. But we see that there's a rise in the cases, the cases of swine flu or the H1N1 virus continues to rise. Saurav joins us for more. Saurav, of course, it's a cause of concern. We see that there is an uptick in the cases of swine flu. But what have been the measures that have been taken so far by the government of Delhi?
Right, Rakshita, the H1N1 case, which is also popularly known as the swine flu. The cases of swine flu have sharply recorded a rise in the national capital, as nearly 3,000 cases, active cases have been registered in Delhi right now. And as we speak, Delhi Health Minister Pankaj Singh has also said that all the hospitals should be equipped with the necessary medicines and the emergency supplies so that this health crisis can be taken care of. They have also ordered all the Delhi government hospitals to make an isolated ward in which the cases of the swine flu will be treated. And this H1N1 strain is developed over the years, and that is why it is spreading so rapidly in the national capital. However, the doctors are claiming that this strain is new, and this is catching people because it is a new developed virus and it is strong more than ever. And they have said that this is causing because of the monsoon season and the humidity in the weather. They have also advised that the vulnerable group of people, including the senior citizens and the children, should be made aware of the whole situation, and they should be kept in the home only. And they have also said that they should not get into the crowded places, and if anyone is sneezing near them, they should take precautionary measures and they should wear masks in this situation. However, Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta has also called for an emergency meeting in this regard, and they have this meeting will focus on how rapidly these cases are increasing in the national capital and what more measures could be taken so that this cannot turn into a major health crisis in the national capital. However, Delhi government hospitals have been equipped with all the necessary supplies and the medical supplies, including the oxygen and the necessary medicines which are required in the swine flu infection. These are the latest details which we are fetching from the ground, Rakshita.
All right, thank you so much, Saurav, for joining us with details coming in on that story. With that, viewers, we are now shifting our focus to breaking news coming in from Karnataka, where it's a major setback for actor Tarun in the Goswami murder case. The court has approved Pradosh as approver in a major development now in the case. 59th. The court has accepted Pradosh's plea to turn approver in the Renu Goswami murder case. Now, viewers, who is Pradosh? Pradosh was earlier an accused in this case, and is now going to become an approver. That is, as a witness. He's required to disclose the truth and facts about the case that are known to him. The court will record his statement subsequently. Pradosh has been directed to remain in jail until the trial concludes, and if he fails to disclose the truth or comply with the conditions, he could lose his approval status and be treated as an accused again. Now, the accused appeared before the court through a video conference. So there is another setback for actor Darshan, who is the accused number 2 in this case, Renu Goswami murder case. And this is an update coming in on that case, that one of the accused is now turning an approver. And viewers, this is the breaking news we have right now. Court had also earlier rejected Darshan's plea for physical presence, allowing video conference. And the case continues. And this was a brutal murder of Renu Goswami, who was allegedly threatening Darshan's friend. And now what we are understanding is that one of the accused is turning an approver. Two of them earlier, 2 weeks ago, two accused in this case had sought approver status. And my colleague Aditi is joining us live at the broadcast from the newsroom for more. It's a setback, of course. Two accused earlier had sought to turn approver, but one of them, we understand, Pradosh, will be now turning a witness.
Absolutely, major headache for Kannada superstar Darshan now. Remember in 2024 when Kannada star Darshan, he gathered his friends, or I should say accomplices in the crime now, and Renuka Swami, who was a fan of Darshan, he was brutally attacked, and the post-mortem report stated that 52 times with blunt object he was brutally killed by these people as alleged in the FIR and in the post-mortem report that came out. In 2024, in June it happened. The allegation was that Renuka Swami was trolling and stalking Darshan's then girlfriend or female friend, Pavitra, after which this whole case fell out, and now the trouble is mounting for Darshan as one more person is going to turn approver, which will only add more gruesome details will come out now. What happened on that day when Renuka Swami was murdered by allegedly Darshan.
We have Abhishek also joining us on the broadcast from Bengaluru. Abhishek, tell us more details. What are you picking up from the court?
Well, with respect to Renuka Swami's murder case, actor Darshan is already behind the bars and is experiencing the sentence which has been laid on by the Karnataka High Court. On the other hand, his very own friend Pradosh has turned into an approver. He had previously approached the court stating that he wants to turn into an approver in this particular case because he claims to be an eyewitness in this particular case and he knows what had happened previously, and he also knew how the body was supposed to be disposed of, and he was in this particular murder incident from level 1 to level the last level. So this might be a major setback to Darshan at this particular time because the court has also laid a condition where it has mentioned the fact that if at all Pradosh is found guilty of making any false statement, he will be turned into an accused again with another additional punishment. But if at all his statements are turning towards the truth, and there might be chance for him to get out of the jail probably even before the due date, or he might be, the consideration is that the sentence might be reduced in Pradosh's case if at all he gives any true answers or he gives any data which is very approving of Darshan's involvement in this particular matter. So we will have to see what happens in the next due course because the accused Pradosh has appeared via video conference to mention that he is ready to become an approver, and we will have to see what happens in the next couple of days.
All right. Thank you so much, Aditi and Abhishek, for joining us with details coming in on that story. Now we shift our focus, viewers, to the other stories that we are talking for you, and this is in connection with Ram Rahim's another release. In total, 17 releases have taken place, viewers. 17 times the convict has been out on jail. The area such as Sauda Chief, Gurmeet Ram Rahim, has been out is now out on furlough. The convicted rapist serving a 20-year sentence for raping 2 women disciples has been granted another 21-day temporary release. This is Ram Rahim's 17th temporary release since he was jailed, and what makes this release significant is that unlike several early outings at the Barnava in Uttar Pradesh, the data chief is once again will allowed to stay at the Sirsa headquarters. Here's more.
Rape convict Gurmeet Ram Rahim is once again walking out of the prison, this time on a 21-day furlough. Over the years, he has repeatedly been granted parole or furlough, triggering questions over how many times a convicted prisoner can be allowed temporary freedom. In his previous outings, Ram Rahim was sent to Dera Barnava Ashram in Bagpat, Uttar Pradesh. Ram Rahim was convicted by a special CBI court in 2017 for raping 2 women disciples at the Dera Sacha Sauda headquarters in Sirsa. However, in the latest video, he has increasingly been allowed to stay at the Sirsa headquarters, making this his 3rd consecutive visit over there. These releases have often drawn political and public scrutiny, particularly because of his large following in Haryana and Punjab and their proximity to elections. The latest furlough has once again put the spotlight on the parole for high-profile prisoners. Ram Rahim is also serving a life sentence in murder case of former Dera manager Ranjit Singh. He was additionally convicted in the murder of journalist Ram Chandra Chhatrapati.
Now, viewers, in some more updates as far as the crackdown against food safety violations concerned, a Pune resident now has shared a video that shows a live worm moving inside a pastry he had bought from Paul Bakery in Pune. Now, this comes amid the severe backlash. The cafe bakery now is facing a similar experience by a Gurugram customer, that is the Paul Bakery. It's a patisserie giant. And in Gurgaon also, there was a live worm that was found inside the sandwich. Here's more.
Another shocking video has surfaced online that has raised concerns over food safety. A resident of Pune has shared a video where a maggot was found inside a pastry. The pastry, which had been bought from the Paul India outlet in the city, had a live worm moving inside the eatable. The post comes a day after another customer's similar experience at Paul India's Gurugram outlet, where he found a live worm inside a sandwich. The resident who bought the pastry from the outlet, located in Phoenix Market City Mall, soon shared a video showing a live worm moving inside the pastry. However, there have been no response yet from Paul India's Pune outlet regarding the customer's video. The concerns raised over food safety highlight the need for stricter monitoring, proper hygiene practices, and greater accountability.
Now, days after CCTV footage of a woman police sub-inspector on duty being assaulted and threatened by the daughter of a sitting BJP MLA at a temple in Karnataka's Mandya district went viral, Republic has now spoken to the BJP MLA Suresh Gowda. He, in fact, has said sorry, and he also has spoken to Republic TV about what really happened. He has his version. Listen in.
Actually, on that day, Bhiman Amavasya, I think 12th of August, the incident was happened. Then I come to know that after the incident is over. So I asked my daughter what has happened. She told I had been to temple. My both grandchildren, our daughter and son, had a chicken pox. For that, she had gone to put a water on to the children. So in that incident, she requested the sub-inspector to let that Pujari should put the water on both the children. So she refused. After that, one more person has come to the temple. She let him inside the temple. So that time she asked the thing, why you allowed that person, why you are not allowing me? See, I brought two children, they had the chicken pox. Let me 1 minute, I will go and come inside the temple and requested. So that became a words to words conversation was happened. So action, reaction. What my daughter has said, something, what the sub-inspector has told, I don't know. Police officers always, they have pressure in the public places. Because huge crowd was there, they have to control it. My daughter should also listen to what the police officer has says. Because we have to obey the officers when we are in the public life. So people goes to the temple for the peace of mind, not to lose the peace of mind.
But in that particular video, sir, it is your daughter who first slapped the sub-inspector, and then in reply she also slaps. What might be the reason? Because Aishwarya lost the cool.
No, why we lose the control? When some officers say something, abuse the things in the temple, inside the temple. Okay, my daughter says she abused the thing, you, my husband, my children, all this, that's what I control the thing. I don't know what exact it is. Whether it is true or not, I don't know. So we should have a inquiry. So that I don't require also. See, it is a temple. In the anger it was happened. In the patience, both should have patience. Police officers should also have a patience to handle the public.
And now it's time for a very, very short break, but don't go anywhere. We have lots more lined up for you on the other side. The ED has flagged funds without FCRA registration. 2.88 crore pay foreign funds under scanner.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
Scott Besson.
Welcome back, viewers. A major H-1B visa shock for skilled foreign workers, and especially for Indian professionals coming in. Now, the Trump administration has proposed an additional $103,265 fee on H-1B applications subject to the annual cap. The move comes after a previous $100,000 H-1B fee was struck down by a U.S. court. Vice President J.D. Vance has now made the administration's position clear. American companies that need workers should hire and train Americans first themselves. India stands to be among the countries most affected, with Indian nationals accounting for about 71% of the H-1B beneficiaries in the fiscal year 2024. Here's more.
A fresh H-1B shock from the Trump administration. $103,265. That's the additional fees the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has proposed for the H-1B cap subject petitions. This isn't just for the applicants coming from abroad. The proposed fee would apply to all H-1B petitions subject to the annual cap, including applications eligible under the U.S. master's degree exemption. The H-1B program allows American employers to hire foreign workers in specialized occupations, particularly across technology, engineering, research, and other highly skilled sectors. Under the congressional cap, the United States currently allows 65,000 H-1B visas every year under the regular quota, with another 20,000 slots reserved for foreign workers holding a master's degree or higher education from the U.S. institutions. That means the proposed fee would potentially apply across the 85,000 visa cap subject pool, and the financial impact could be enormous. Department of Homeland Security estimates the proposed fee could generate approximately $8.8 billion annually. This is based on the 85,000 cap subject petitions. But there is an important distinction. This is a proposed additional fee, not a final rule, which brings the spotlight firmly onto India. Because when it comes to H-1B visa program, India is by far the largest beneficiary. USCIS data shows that in fiscal year 2024, Indian nationals accounted for 283,755 approved H-1B petitions, which is around 71% of all approved H-1B petitions. China was a distant second, with about 11.7%. The Trump administration says the objective is not to shut the doors on foreign talent.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी। चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Scott Besson.
Supreme Court rejects the rapist Tarun Tejpal's plea seeking exemption from surrender, directs Tejpal to surrender within 2 weeks. West Bengal Chief Minister Suvendu Adhikari orders crackdown on anti-national elements, orders probe after anti-national slogans, graffitis emerge in Jadavpur University. Big win for Republic. Bengal Chief Minister Suvendu orders all fake cases against Republic Bangla to be withdrawn. Video emerges of Karnataka BJP MLA's daughter slapping police official. BJP MLA B. Suresh Gowda now says sorry. Sirsa Dera Chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim serving 2 separate 10-year sentences in the Dera Sacha Soda rape cases has been granted 21 days of furlough. ED flags funds without FCRA registration, 2.88 crore rupees foreign funds under ED scanner. Actor Kriti Sanon's Raksha Bandhan ad sparks row. BJP MP Kangana Ranaut calls actors top bikini. In fact, Kriti Sanon hits back, says why women should be judged based on clothes. After worms in Gurugram pole sandwich, now maggots found in dessert of the high-end eatery's food in Pune. Citizens say apology not enough. NSA Ajit Doval is on a 2-day visit to China amidst Chinese Vice President talks scheduled with his Chinese counterpart. Now viewers, the Supreme Court has directed rapist and former Tehelka editor Tarun Tejpal to surrender within 2 weeks' time, rejecting his plea for exemption from surrendering before his appeal. The Goa bench of the Bombay High Court on August 6 convicted Tejpal and sentenced him to 10 years in prison for raping a former colleague in 2013, overturning his 2021 acquittal in the case. And now, viewers, in this, the Supreme Court has heard a plea, and he was trying to seek an exemption of surrendering before this on August 6. In fact, the Bombay High Court of the Goa bench have sentenced him to 10 years rigorous punishment, rigorous imprisonment on the 2013 rape case. And now, after this exemption has now been rejected by the Supreme Court, my colleague Sarthak joins us to give us more details on this. Sarthak, give us more details and what exactly went down in the court during the hearing. This was a plea that Tarun Tejpal's side has filed at the Supreme Court, trying to exempt this particular, for him to surrender. And now the Supreme Court has said that he should be surrendering within 2 weeks' time and also should furnish the surrender certificate to the court.
Well, Amrita, on August 6, 2026, Bombay High Court revolutionary overturned the order that was passed by the Sessions Court in 2021, back in 2021, where Tarun Tejpal was given an acquittal in this particular case. The Bombay High Court completely overturned that, and Tarun Tejpal was convicted in that case. He was given 10 years of rigorous imprisonment. However, it was not the end of the story, because Tarun Tejpal appealed before the Supreme Court and he filed a plea where he was expecting the exemption from the 4 weeks period that was given by Bombay High Court after giving him 10 years of rigorous imprisonment to surrender before the police. However, he filed an appeal before the Supreme Court, expecting the Supreme Court to intervene and pass an exemption before, just so that he can file an appeal against such a conviction in the Supreme Court. However, the Supreme Court has completely rejected that plea, and now he has been given 2 weeks of time to surrender. The Tarun Tejpal has to surrender for within 2 weeks. That has been an order passed by the Supreme Court. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta had also pointed out and observed in the court that Tarun Tejpal had two options: either to surrender as it was directed by the Bombay High Court, or file an application before the Bombay High Court for the exemption of that 4 weeks period of surrender period that was given by the Bombay High Court. However, he did not do any of that. He simply moved to the Supreme Court, appealed before the Supreme Court, expecting Supreme Court to intervene and exempt from that 4-week period. The Supreme Court has completely rejected that. He has been given 2 weeks period to surrender, and now he has to appeal. If he has to appeal before the Supreme Court regarding that conviction, he has to do it from jail. Kapil Sibal was representing him in this particular matter before the Supreme Court. He argued that he is a senior citizen, and the case has been long pending for a very long time. The same sorry arguments that were made before the Bombay High Court, the same arguments were made before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court was completely inconsiderate of any of those arguments, and now Tarun Tejpal is in a difficult predicament because he has been given 2 weeks period to surrender, and he has to surrender before the police within this time frame. And now if he has to appeal before the Supreme Court, he has to do it from jail. Amrita.
That's right. Thank you so much for all of those details, Sarthak. And in fact, now Tarun Tejpal has just 2 weeks' time to surrender before the court. And these are live visuals that we're tracking. Big breaking news coming in at the moment. These are pro-Canada protesters. They are protesting against the Kaveri water dispute, and we can see them being hauled over in a police vehicle as well. This is after a protest broke out. These are live visuals that we're tracking, and this is on the Kaveri water dispute. Pro-Canada protesters, they are demanding against the Kaveri water dispute row that has been gripping the state, the two states, in fact. We're getting to see that some of them being hauled over in a police vehicle as well after this protest broke out. We're trying to know of the details into what exactly happened on this. And this is the live visuals that we're tracking on the Kaveri water dispute, where the several protesters have been holding out protests, and pro-Canada protests that we are getting to know now. And this is on the Kaveri water dispute. In fact, we're getting to know that the protesters are being taken over in a police vehicle as well. And we're trying to get more information on this as it happens. But these are live visuals that we're tracking on the Kaveri water dispute that has, in fact, gripped both Karnataka and Tamil Nadu on this issue. These are pro-Canada protesters, and they are, again, this protest breaking out over the Kaveri water dispute, the Kaveri river sharing dispute. And in that, we're getting to see several police officials also deployed at the scene at this, and some of them being hauled over in the police vehicle also. And these are pro-Canada protesters that we're getting to know, the activists who have been protesting on the Kaveri water dispute issue. And moving on to another top story, Chief Minister Rekha Gupta has called an emergency meeting as swine flu cases nears 3,000. The H1N1 situation is under control in Delhi. That's what the Chief Minister has, in fact, the Health Minister has said. And isolation wards are being set up across Delhi hospitals amid the H1N1 surge. In fact, the Chief Minister Rekha Gupta also has held a meeting on the swine flu cases as the number of the cases has risen to 3,000, and we're getting to know that there have been isolation wards that are put in place. The Health Minister has said that the situation is under control, and despite that, the Chief Minister has held a meeting on the cases rising, and so far 3,000 people have been detected in this. My colleague joins us, Saurav, to give us more updates in this. Saurav, can you break it down for us? We know that you have spoken to various people outside of the hospital as well, and we're getting to know that the Health Minister has said that the situation is under control, although we're getting to this information, this reports that the number has touched 3,000 cases. H1N1 virus continue to rise. Give us more details on this.
Right, Amrita, you rightly mentioned that the cases are rising in the national capital of the swine flu, which is also known as H1N1 virus. And as per the official figures in Delhi currently, there are 3,000 active cases of the swine flu. And Health Minister Pankaj Singh has said that there is no cause of concern as all the hospitals are ready to tackle any kind of situation here. They have also ordered that every government hospital should have an isolated ward so that the people affected with the swine flu can be admitted there, and in that isolated ward there should be everything available like the emergency supplies like oxygen and the other medicines which are used to cure swine flu. However, Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta has also called for an emergency meeting in this regard, and they have also instructed all the hospitals to get ready to tackle any kind of health crisis situation which can emerge in the national capital. However, the doctors are saying that this sharp uptick in the swine flu cases is due to the weather and the people visiting the crowded places and getting infected from the others. And they have also advised that the children and the senior citizens who comes in a vulnerable group, they should be made aware of this whole situation, and they should not go out of their houses if it is something necessary. However, the other thing is that this year they have the swine flu cases have risen 6-fold. As last year the cases were nearly 229, but this year this has crossed more than 3,000 cases in the national capital. However, the Delhi government is taking cognizance of this whole matter, and the hospitals are becoming ready to tackle any kind of health crisis situation which can arise in the national capital in the near future due to the rising cases of the swine flu. This is the H1N1 strain, and the doctors have said that this strain has become strong over the period of time, and due to this only, the capital has seen such an uptick in the swine flu cases. Back to you.
That's right. Thank you so much for all of those updates. And in fact, Republic also spoke to the doctor who has been in charge of overlooking this H1N1 cases. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
So, it belongs to the influenza family, which has, other viruses also. And there is a constant kind of a cycling of the predominant variety which would be prevalent in this particular year. So it is not that H1N1 is strange to Delhi. It has been there in the earlier years also. So it's a kind of a cyclical pattern. And last year it was H3N2. So this year it is H1N1. So there's nothing unusual. This is a natural process.
So, sir, is the strain developed itself more? So that is why are the people getting more affected by this year, or it is due to the weather, monsoon? Why it is happening?
So the virulence of the strain stands as it was always, but it is the seasonal change. I mean, now that we've had certain spells of rain, and there's a increased humidity and persistent moisture in the atmosphere. So what happens? The cough and the sneezing, which is releasing the virus particles, which is the contagium. That virus particle is a contagium. So in a dry weather, that virus particle will dry off and die, will be perished. But when we have a high level of humidity, there's a moisture which condenses around the virus, and the persistence of the virus is for much longer time. So in a crowded place, the virus will not just dissipate, but would probably enter someone's airways. So that is the thing. So here comes the cue also as to how to prevent it. That we have to avoid visits to the overcrowded places. That is one basic thing, and try to use those preventive measures like creating a barrier by using a mask, frequent hand washes, because we do open the same handle of a common door. We are using remote, we are using call bells, we are using the lift buttons, and we are frequenting public toilets and all that. So frequent hand washing is one way to restrict that.
So, sir, any particular age group is more affected or vulnerable to this whole situation, like children,
adults, senior citizens, and what precautionary measures should they take to avoid this?
So it is always the two extremes of the ages, the young ones, the children, as well as the elderly senior citizens who are more prone medically to pick up the infection. And on top of that, persons who are suffering from chronic kidney disease, bronchial asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, commonly known as COPD or bronchitis, diabetic patients who are not so well controlled. So they are more prone to get it. Then it should be a universal precaution for all of the senior citizens. And the basic precautions, as I earlier mentioned, is avoiding the visits to crowded places is one of the most important preventive measure. Second is wearing a mask. Third is frequent hand washing, and that would cover. And there's a vaccine also which is there, the tetravalent influenza vaccine, which covers for H1N1 swine flu also. So every year around this time only we get the new batch of influenza vaccine. So that should be taken on a regular basis by all the persons who are more at risk.
So as we have seen, the cases is rising suddenly. So is the national capital ready to handle such kind of a crisis situation?
Yeah, I think it is. The government has already taken a proactive step, and as has been notified by the health ministry, both the state ministry and the central government, the precautions are already in place. So I'm very confident about our healthcare system, and with the COVID experience, we all know what all are the do's and don'ts and how to get into action for prevention.
And now, viewers, moving ahead to another story. The Enforcement Directorate has probed a Rajasthan-based Protestant pastor for allegedly receiving over 2 crore in foreign funds without FCRA registration, which it claims were used for proselytization and conversion activities among SC and ST communities. Acting on intelligence inputs, the Enforcement Directorate searched the premises of the pastor, Ravi Mohan of Hope Ministry, and his wife Gunjan Sharma, alleging that they received a total of around 2.34 to 2.88 crore rupees in donations, primarily from US-based donor Thomas Eugene Lynch, founder and president of the South Carolina nonprofit Give Back to Humanity Incorporated. And the agency also said that the Paharia remained in regular contact with foreign nationals and organized religious gatherings targeting underprivileged and tribal groups in Jaipur and southern Rajasthan on their instructions. One project under scrutiny is the Children of Hope School, which is also known as Niranjan